jumping. It's more than hunger, it's impulse I'm loving. I'm likely to line you up in sight and snipe you. Sweet little bites, my gaze hits your eyes in truth. My delight, you'll soon be in my tummy. I can tell you'll be yummy. Feel me come and snuggle up. My tender touch will be enough. Hold you close, you're by my side. Welcome to your final ride. Wrap around you tightly through the night. My darling, you are my prize. I delight to these eyes, patiently waiting, trying to make you mine. I'll show you what it's like to decompose inside. Wrap around you tightly through the night. My darling, you are my prize. I delight to these eyes, patiently waiting, trying to make you mine. I'll show you what it's like. I'm hungry, I feel my tummy grumbling. This concrete jungle really I'm becoming. I tried to eat a cat, its reflex is stunning. I tried to eat a rat, it ran off laughing and stunting. Determined to sever, I hit the block. Gotta get some grub on lock. The cars whiz past as they slither across. These people see me and scurry off. Dangerous I am not. A silly little snake who left the country for a better plot. Now I'm a target unless I find some cover. I see a sewer and slither down on under. Escape the sun so I can cool off and look for plunger. A way to really get out there and satisfy my hunger. Around the corner I hear something buzzing. Sounds like my order, a little clump of bugs for the munching. I skirt around and lunge towards the lovely bunch of. Wait a second, where's the edge? Oh no, I'm tumbling. As I fall and look down and get a mighty big surprise, I see a man decked in white, a real scientist type. He's got frizzy hair and bright green luminescent eyes. He's got a little cage attached to a futuristic device. My belly hit the ground and I took off running. I turned my head around, he's gaining ground, he's coming. He's clearly got the speed, his feet pound the beat, he's drumming. Oh no, he got me back home, they'll call me dummy. He brings me back around and throws me right into the cage. Flips all these switches and what a noise his machine makes. He crouches down and with confidence he states, allow me to present to the world Super Snake. I feel this energy flowing through all my veins. Laser shoot up my eyes and break me out this cage. My body grows as I feel my power resonate. I'm ready to go eat until I'm ready to eat.
What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another Monday night stream. I'm so excited. I got a brand new mic stand. My last one was flimsy and it was all over the place, and I paid good money to get the good one, and getting quality things makes me feel good about my purchases in life. That being said, it's nice to be here with everyone. My name is Holden Stefan Roy. Joining me today is Lidibro Flacco, who is changing his earbuds at the moment. And we are going to be watching another episode of Perspectives, the fourth one. We've been doing that the last few weeks. Oh, I don't hear you. I'm not sure what's happening. But yeah, we're going to be watching the fourth one in our series. We're just kind of watching the old ones, and we're looking for clips. So if you're watching through with us, we will be watching it at 1.5 speed. The original episode is on the Behind That Suit YouTube channel. You'll be able to... Are we doing something different? Are we doing something else? Okay, we can do that. We can do that. All right, let's do that, and then... I guess we're doing that now. Pivot, guys. You never know what's going to happen. Never know. Come through Mondays, 7 p.m. No, you can now. You can now. He can now. Wait, can you not hear him now? Still? Because there's like a delay between the chat and like real life. What do you mean no? Really? Oh, he's not lying. No, wait. He's not lying. Ah, shit. What's going on? I hear you. Okay, so I mean I hear him, Chris, so I promise you he's talking. What happened here? Fucking fucking OBS acted like an asshole. 1 second. Is it that one? Can you talk, Flacco? Just keep keep going.
Flacco, talking.
Ox. It's Ox something.
Auxiliary.
Wait, this one you said got him? Keep talking.
Talking. Can you hear me now,
got him.
CC?
We got him. Yes, everyone, we've got him. So,
yes.
For those that didn't hear Flacco interrupted me to say, I want to talk about the Super Bowl. And that's what you missed.
I want to talk about the Super Bowl. Fuck that. We could come back to fucking revisiting episodes next week. Let's fucking talk about the shit that happened. The Super Bowl was just yesterday. Let's fucking talk about the Super Bowl.
Now I gotta rename this shit.
Gotta rename it. Gotta change it on the fly.
Just tag Nunzio in the story. I'm like, whoops. Oh well.
Oh man. Fuck.
Oh well. We win some.
Nunzio will be alright. He won't mind.
He'll understand. We'll update the shit. Anyway, Super Bowl talk. Did you watch the whole game or did you just watch the halftime show?
Nah, I watched the whole thing. The fucking Chiefs got blown out, bruh. Which was like also super welcoming because Taylor Swift's boyfriend is on the Chiefs. So it was just like, good for you. I went into Twitter Spaces earlier today and I was like, man, I always love to see a white woman lose at something. I always love to see a white woman unhappy. That's one of my greatest pleasures in life, is to see a white woman not get her way. So Taylor Swift not getting her way, I welcome it. Let's do it. Let's do it every year. Let's make sure she loses more often. Lindell, what's up? Lindell, yo. Lindell, the 80s are the greatest decade ever. Now it's on record. Holden told me that you gave up on commenting about it. I totally forgot that was a thing. I don't care, bro. You could have it. I don't care about the 90s. Fuck the 90s. Fuck 80s. 2000s.
Or 2000s.
Fuck the 80s. Now. Oh, no. He doesn't he want to?
No, it's fuck the 90s. 80s is the most influential.
He said the 80s is the most influential. That's it. They're the most influential. All good by me. I don't care. Fuck the 90s. Fuck 2000. Fuck 2010s. Fuck 2020s. The 80s is the most influential. That's it. There you go.
What if the 2020s becomes the most influential?
You just love to fuck around, huh, Holden? Just let the man have the fucking 80s winning.
No, I was just thinking all that. I'll let it be. Shh, Holden, shh.
I have a friend like you, Holden. His name is Cabin. Man, he disagrees with everything. I could agree with him. He disagrees. I'm just like, bro, what the fuck? I still got a point to make. Shut up. Nobody cares. Just let a motherfucker agree and end the conversation. Shit. Fuck. Influential to the pop culture. Sure, bro. Absolutely.
Yes.
Why the fuck not?
Win. It's the facts.
Look at fucking The Weeknd running around doing 80s sounding shit. Look at the 80s sounds coming back around.
He also had a Super Bowl performance because he was going around doing 80s stuff.
Exactly.
That's a fact.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. Speaking of Super
Yeah.
Bowl, right? Super Bowl. So I watched the whole thing. It was lovely to see Taylor Swift lose. I just want to be on board as publicly having said I love to see white women lose. CC, um, clip that, make that a clip. Let's put that on Instagram
It
and out to
just
the world.
yeah, Chris, you're gonna
Clip
have to
that.
timestamp that. You're gonna
Hashtag
have to figure it
hashtag
out.
Taylor hashtag Taylor Swift, right? And me saying I love seeing white women lose.
Yeah, Chris, do it.
Let white women know that. I want them to
Get the
know
whole
that.
Swifties to come after us.
It's so funny because I said that shit in a Twitter Spaces room earlier with white women who hang out with black people who educate them on a regular basis about the plight of black Americans in the United States of America. And there were still white women sad reacting to me saying that shit. It's just like, you're not losing. Just the idea of one brown guy saying, fuck white women. I love to see white women lose, made white women sad react. Like, what? Just take it on the chin, bitches. You've had everything in history for hundreds of years and you still fucking crying. What the fuck?
Right.
Yeah, man. Right, Lindell. I agree. It was the retro era that allowed pop culture to be more creative without backlash for the most part.
Facts.
Won't catch any arguments out of me. I watched all the ads, or I watched a majority of the ads. Those house.coms ads, house.com is the best ads, are pretty funny. I thought they were hilarious. Um, they had an ad. You want to look them up? Can we watch these ads?
Ooh, I don't know if I want to play with
No,
that.
let's not do that. Yeah, let's not do that. It
I
was
was
this
like,
whole
they're
thing
kind of
about like
fresh.
it was this whole thing about um like the person that's the two people that are the actors doing the ad for houses.com talking with a lawyer for houses.com. And he was explaining to them that they can't say houses.com is the best. But they kept on saying, you know what I mean? And it was pretty fucking funny. And then by the time the third commercial comes around, they were like, I don't know who Glenn Frey. I mean, I probably do know Glenn Frey. I don't like if it's an actor or actress, um, I might I just don't remember anybody's
Glenn
names. You
Frey
know what I
is
mean?
he's the guy in front of the Eagles, the band the Eagles.
Oh, you know I don't know the Eagles. We've discussed this. Lindell, don't abuse me agreeing with you and force me to agree with a bunch of shit. You know, don't don't do that. I was on your team. I'm over here just like telling Holden, shut the fuck up and let the man have it. You know what I mean? I didn't know. I don't ever check the comments, right? So our most viewed video is our Immortal Technique interview, correct, Holden?
Yes. Yes.
And that also probably is the video that we have the most comments to, right, Holden?
Yes.
And I'm pretty sure a whole bunch of those comments are shitting on
Nah,
me, right, Holden?
a small percentage actually. It's pretty
All right.
positive.
Okay. Well, whatever. A small percentage. I
People
don't
like
know.
the
I don't.
interview.
Let me tell you something. I don't know, and I don't care. I mean, I love Immortal Tech. That's my
Couple
brother,
people didn't like your
and
nails.
I'm very appreciative of him for doing that interview with us.
Me too.
Super. Um,
I got that
I don't
vinyl
give.
behind me.
I don't give a fuck about comments. You know what I mean?
Actually,
So I
Lindell be
just let
coming
them.
on behind that suit videos, and he'll find random obscure videos that nobody watches, and he'll leave his comments on those
So
videos.
the point is, I don't comment watch. So I didn't know. I wasn't aware that for weeks after you dropped the comment about the '80s, that you were following up on it. You know what I mean? So Flaco, he was on the "Heat Is On" song in Beverly Hills Cop. You heard it in the movie. Word, I did. I didn't know that's who that is. I know the song The Heat is on though. I know that song. You know why? What I don't know? What you know what I didn't know for years? That the Eagles even fucking existed. I didn't know that there was a fucking band. I did not know anything about these motherfuckers until Frank Ocean makes American Wedding and they sue him. And then I'm like, who are these people suing this fantastic singer that I listen to? The point being, this houses.com ad, it was fantastic. It kept on developing. Like they had like 3 throughout the whole game, right? And the first commercial starts out and it's like, you pretend you're the actor, Holden, right? And you say,
Okay.
houses.com is the best.
Houses.com is the best?
We can't say that, like, right? Like you're questioning, right? Like
we can't
you're
say
gonna play this
houses.com
role.
is the best.
You cannot say houses.com is the best. And
are you sure we can't say houses.com is the best? Like there's no way around that?
And then he keeps on going, and the lawyer keeps on telling him no. And then they say, by the time they get to the third commercial, they say, we can't say houses.com is the best.com if we change the name to houses.com is the best.com. And that played me so much. That was so funny because they presented it, they opened up like the board. They had Morgan Freeman. They had Morgan Freeman in the ad. They were like, what about if we have Morgan Freeman say houses.com is the best? And Morgan Freeman was like, houses.com is the best. And the lawyer was like, no, you can't do this. You can't say any of this. And then at one point in that last commercial, Morgan Freeman gets in on the joke and he's sitting with the 2 actors trying to convince the lawyer to allow them to say it. And he says to the lawyer, what can't we say? And the lawyer says, you can't say houses.com is the best. And Morgan Freeman's like, I got you to say it though. And then by the end, it was like, what if we say houses.com is the best.com because that's our new .com. Houses.com is the best.com. You know? Like that's the hilarious.
That's dope.
Man. You're gonna have to join us. Did you not watch the game, bro? Come on, man. We gave you that the 80s are the best. Join us in join us in 2025.
Lindell, why don't you take the time to formulate your thoughts on the halftime performance? And then you can just, by the time we get there, your paragraph will be ready and boom.
There was a seal being a seal commercial for something. I think it was Sprite. So Seal, the singer, was singing. I don't know who Suzanne Vega is. I got no fucking clue who that is. Seal was singing, I've been kissed by your rose, but as a seal, and it was about Sprite or their new flavor or something like that. All right, man. If you say I do, I believe you, man. I believe you. I believe you.
We're not doing it, guys. We did the one tangent. We want to talk about the Super Bowl. We could talk about some sidetrack, but we're not playing the Flacco Do You Know Each List of Person game. We can do one an episode.
You do know.
One an episode. One.
That was like,
oh, I do know Suzanne Vega. She did. I do know her. She did sing Tom's like anyway. I know her. It's the song that they made the MP3 with, so it's an interesting song for history's sake.
What do you mean that they made the
Like the
MP3 version.
song that they created the MP3 file with, like they tested and created the format of the MP3 file. They used Suzanne Vega's Tom's Diner as the song to create the
Is that
MP3
the
format.
song about the homeless woman?
Like she just kind of like describes a diner, and like it's really like vague. Like I was
Yeah, nah.
sitting in the corner, and the guy he pours the coffee, and there's paper. Like it's kind of like that. It's like really, she just describes this like set piece of being in this diner, and it might be a metaphor for something, but I never thought that deep. But it's wild catchy, and there's a huge chance if you heard the melody, you really do know it. But like it's one of those songs where nobody knows the name of it or who sings it. Anyway, that's the last one, Lindell. That's the last one, Lindell.
Zilmanel jumping in on it. He's like,
Good
yeah,
to see
Tom's
you,
Diner.
Salmon.
Everyone knows that song. It's like, yo, you guys, yo, you know what? Sure. I know that song.
Anyway, it's
I give
just
up.
one of those ones.
I give up. I fucking give up, yo. I give up. You guys don't seem to understand the concept of not everybody grew up in your era, in your time, in your type of neighborhood. And things were very different in the Bronx, New York City in the 80s and 90s. When you're a black and brown kid, you're not listening to any white music. I did not listen to any MTV. I did. My friend, he would record, he had MTV. He would record the VMAs. He would come over with the tape of the VMAs. And soon as rock and roll or any white music came on, I would leave the room and I would go socialize with my parents. That's how much I didn't give a fuck about white music. So it's just like, but you guys don't want to understand this concept. You guys are like, no way. No way.
Chris, clip this.
And I'm like,
this is useful.
I'm like, sure, man. I know the Eagles. I know Suzanne Vega. I know Tom's Diner. I don't. But if you say I do, I do. Whatever, man. I don't care. You guys would. You can have it. You can have it. You know what I mean? If I were to fucking play for you the shit that I was listening to, you'd probably be like, what song is that? And I'd have to eat that shit, right? I'd have to be like, how do you not know half a mil from the farm? How do you not know half a mil that used to hang out with AZ? How do you not know him? What? You're gonna tell me you don't know Tragedy Gaddafi, Illuminati? What? But you guys, you'd say it and you'd be like, no, what? And I'd have to eat that. But I tell you guys, I don't know who Suzanne Vega is, and I don't know Tom's Diner. And you're like, impossible. Everybody knows this song. Everybody loves white music. Not everybody loves white music, man. I grew up in an environment where essentially, if it wasn't white shit that passed for black shit, we weren't listening to it. So like, if you're not talking about right, I always been around the world and I can't find my, because I was fascinated when that white woman was fucking not black. I was like, what? This plays on WBLS all the time. I thought she was black. And she had Barry White on the remix. Like, what? Phil Collins, Feeling in the Air Tonight. I thought Phil Collins was black, man. I did not know. I did not fucking know.
Now that song is definitely influential.
I remember thinking that the first white song that I heard was the song from Ghost. Oh, 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 my darling. I thought that everything that I heard was all black music. But that's because everything that played on the stations in New York was like black centric. So it's just like the fuck. I just thought all the artists were black. I didn't know which ones were white. It was on the radio. There were no music videos. And I didn't have MTV, like I just told you guys. So I didn't watch music videos. There were no music video channels in the 1980s. You had Channel 2, Channel 4, Channel 5, Channel 7, Channel 9, Channel 11, Channel 13, Channel 41 and 47 that had Spanish. That was Univision y Telemundo. Channel 13 was PBS. Channel 11 was WPIX. Channel 9 was UPN. Channel 7 was Eyewitness News, ABC. Channel 5 was Fox. Channel 4 was NBC. Channel 2 was CBS. And then Channel 3 was like a blurry channel. And then you could occasionally get Video Music Box on like Channel 30 something.
Oh, shit.
Your antenna had to be really good.
You have broken through to Lindell.
I mean, I think he's just quitting because he's just tired too. I think we're both tired of this conversation. I wanted to talk about the fucking Super Bowl.
I've been trying to bring it back. Y'all keep going. I'm sitting here like Denny this shit. I'm like, listen, what you're saying makes sense, especially in a time before the world was interconnected. And then if you're in a place like Florida that's a fucking hub of shit, you might just have this more mixed shit because, I don't know, maybe Florida doesn't have its own shit, so it has to inherit other stuff. That's what DJ EFN makes it sound like. It was just an inheritor of other stuff. So in Montreal, it's like that too. We were inheritor of stuff, so it comes off like more mixed. But from what I understand, if you're from New York, you're in the middle of it.
No, I mean, listen, this is the thing is that they were, right? It's just that wasn't what I listened to, right? I didn't listen to the white radio stations. They had white radio stations that played white music. And that was the radio stations we did not listen to in the hood. You know what I mean? We would listen to WBLS, which played music that was favorable to blacks and Latinos in the hood. There were white songs on there, but it was white songs that appealed to black and brown kids and black and brown parents. And that was what I listened to. And then WBLS would play R&B, right? Which is mostly black art form. And then the pop songs that they would play were things like fucking Been Around the World, with Lisa
Everybody
Stanfield.
knows that white music is music made by white people for white audiences.
Yeah, the Eagles are white music. The Eagles was not playing on WBLS, bro. It was like not.
They created an urban section to differentiate. Like
there was
it's pretty.
There was no what's that band? All the hair bands did not play on WBLS. WBLS would not play any hair bands. But all the hair band shit was playing on the rock station. That was a rock and roll thing. So it was like, we don't listen to rock and roll in the hood. There was nobody that I grew up around that ever played rock and roll. Nobody. Not even the white Italians, right? Because we had white Italians that lived not far from the projects I was born to and grew up in. But those white Italians also did not play, at least not around us, you know? But then again, it's also like, well, what is it that they were going to play? White Italians didn't walk around with a boombox, right? No kids. Where I went to school, we were all poor. So no kids walked around with a fucking boombox. You want to know why? Because a boombox was too expensive. The most that you would see a kid with is a Walkman. What does a Walkman do? Plays music on your headphones. And it wasn't like this that I could be like, here, Holden, listen to my music, right? We're talking about a thing that was like this, right? Because I actually happen to have a pair right here. You don't go like this. You can't do that. You could do this at max, and then you're doing this. I'm going like this, right? But it just, and those white kids, them Italian kids they did not want to play. If they did listen to the Eagles and Aerosmith and rock and roll, they weren't playing it for us. They knew better. They were like, I'm not getting made fun of.
I think
the
point has been made. But I do think that weirdly this may tie into the halftime show performance meta conversation because part of that debate is white people being mad at a black performance is an actual part of this debate. So believe it or not, we can tie that conversation in, and it's not too off topic, because that is one of the big things I'm seeing on. Even right
but
before,
white people have been mad for a while now. White people got mad at Beyonce.
Yes, but a lot more white people liked Beyonce.
Yeah, true. They also got really mad. All the maggots got mad at Beyonce.
Well, yeah. I mean, I first time I watched the performance, I was like, I am so confused by Kendrick Lamar's song choices. Like, I was very confused.
I didn't enjoy it. I think he could have picked better. He could have done better.
Then I do appreciate the shots he took with his set design and like the subtle shit he did.
Yeah, I love him opening up with all his fucking dancers in red, white, and blue, right? Signifying like how black Americans built America, right? So like, absolutely love that.
I like
I
the
loved
part
his
that
dancers. I love his dancer. The one dancer that waved the Palestinian flag that got dragged off. That's great. It just didn't get aired on national TV. One of his dancers flew a Palestinian flag that had Sudan and Gaza written on the white stripes of the flag. And when the security tried to like get to him, he like ran around as much as he could, like somebody on a soccer field running away from security. But it was one of the dancers, from what I understand. Like, it wasn't like somebody who just ran on the field.
It was like probably planned.
Yeah, it was planned. But you know, the NFL didn't allow for that to be aired on national TV. They didn't allow for the flag to be even caught a glimpse of. You know, that's probably when they close zoomed in on Kendrick Lamar, and you know,
right.
And his
I gotta say that with Drake being signed to Sony to make the whole thing a PlayStation controller that you're playing on, that was a nice little slap to Sony. I really appreciated it because they performed on a PlayStation controller.
Mm-hmm.
Like this, so like, cause Drake signed to Sony, so, and then they're trying to sue and shit. So it was like a shot at Sony and everything that Kendrick did that, and I felt that was fun, tied into the game over thing of like how he's playing the game. Everything. Samuel L. Jackson was delightful. I'm not gonna lie, that was a great choice to be Uncle Sam.
Uncle Sam, yeah.
And then
I thought it was pretty funny that there was video that came out of Sam in between his parts in the performance, just scrolling through his phone, not really giving a fuck about Kendrick Lamar's performance either. Like, just
waiting for his next cue.
Waiting for his next cue, like, yeah, let me know when I go again. I really don't give a fuck about this shit.
And
thought that was pretty funny.
Yeah, it felt like a big ad for GTX, in my opinion. Like, I get that he made his point and it was symbolic, Definitely. But I'm like, that was a lot of GTX, like album cuts and shit. Like, I don't know, I was thinking, did anybody ever imagine a Super Bowl where you're hearing the words peekaboo? Just in general, like, it's such a...
Oh, did he say GTX?
More GNX? Yeah, my bad.
Yeah. Nah, all good. GTX is like the new grind time.
Right.
You know what I mean?
GNX. League. I meant to say the name of the album that's named after the car that's apparently a fast muscle car that was under... Anyway. And the internet be making shit look... Yo, I just be scrolling and these fucking fact memes pop up. I don't really look for them. The algorithm feeds me.
That shit is okay. It is not the fastest muscle car from back then.
Apparently it had a rain for 6 months or something.
6 months. An old fucking Mustang will wash that shit. You know what I mean? You put an old fucking Mustang and that motherfucker on a fucking line, the Mustang is fucking washing that bitch out. Like, yeah, whatever. I
Fair.
mean, yeah,
Yeah, it just
right.
felt
So
like an ad for that.
you enjoyed the them doing
Like,
that. The
well, I feel like the message of the Super Bowl performance, especially when you think about like at first it was like, yo, it is the worst Super Bowl performance I've ever seen, but that's based on the standards of what a Super Bowl performance is supposed to be, which if you think about his performance being to be the opposite of that, like on purpose, it makes it a good art piece protest while arguably being not exactly what I would do with my Super Bowl performance, but it is very Kendrick Lamar. I think he did an okay job with his I mean, like it's mostly like the songs. Like it's like you're going through it. It's like the first time that like what were you singing to? Mustard. That was the
nothing,
most.
man.
Or be
Yeah,
humble came.
that was when that the two most like I feel like you could sense the crowd's reaction being the biggest reactions when that Black Panther song came on with
Oh yeah,
SZA.
yeah,
When
yeah.
SZA came
Absolutely.
out for the Black Panther song, that's when you could sense the crowd getting oh into it, and then when he started doing Not Like Us and he gets to A minor, everybody got into A minor, and then he follows that up with Mustard, and that's it. That's when the crowd was at its peak. But everything before that, the crowd is just like,
It's just like, yeah, it's just like I don't know. I feel like the performance was a statement piece. The point is like good, but it also, I mean, I don't know. It just feels like as a Super Bowl performance, I don't know how this is going to go down as one of the remembered ones.
it
I
is
think
not.
it's going to be one of the most forgotten performances, except for
Absolutely.
the people who are going to bring up the Drake and Kendrick beef for the next 15 years. Because, I mean,
Right.
it's just not going to. And, like, for a lot of people, it's like I'm seeing on my timeline, and I'm excluding all the white people, just on, like, the black folks going at it. It seems to be very split. Very much a debate of this was a boring performance, but like despite the statement, and then other people who are completely caught up on the point being made, making these giant posts about the symbolism of everything. Yo, what's up, Jumpin' Joe? It's been a hot minute.
What up, Jumpin' Joe the rapper? Off topic,
Yeah,
but you think Ye selling the swastika shirt on Yeezy.com was a ploy to beat the Super Bowl in searches like his wife beat the Grammys in searches? Mm, I mean, I don't know. Maybe.
that's corny though.
Um, yeah,
Um,
man. I can't believe that I really everybody is super shocked. All like when Poison Pen, when I told him I'm done with Kanye, he was like, "What? What?" Everybody who's my close friend that heard me say the
I
words
was.
are super shocked. Super shocked. I stood by him when he was like, "Hey, Hitler has redeemable qualities." I'm like, you know what? That makes sense. That makes sense. I'm pretty sure Hitler had redeemable qualities to the people who loved him. I'm pretty sure his wife would tell you he was a very kind man to her. You know what I mean? That was all that I understood when he was saying what he was saying, right? And Kanye always seemed to me like the type of person that though he was saying things that had shock value, um, he wasn't just saying them for shock value. He was saying them because he was approaching thinking about things in a different manner than your average human being. But the string of tweets the other night, it just reeked of pathetic. It reeked of attention hungry. It reeked of fucking Real Housewives of Potomac or whatever fucking stupid city has a new Real Housewives show. It reeked of fucking Bachelor desperate fucking ration. And there is nothing that disgusts me and gives me the fucking ick more than fucking desperation. I hate desperate people. There's this guy at work that always is kissing my ass, and I'm never gonna fucking like him. I fucking can't stand that guy, but purely because he kisses my ass on a regular basis. I hate an ass kisser. I hate an ass kisser. I hate a fucking sniveling, fucking attention seeker. All of that just fucking that shit just leaves the most nasty, disgusting taste in my mouth, and I just hate it. And Kanye has reached that level with me where he just reeks of a desperate, attention hungry fucking whore. It's like, I don't care how rich you are. I don't even think I care about how good the music is this time. You know what I mean? Like, you could put out fucking the greatest record ever, and I'm probably gonna ignore it this time around, bro, because I caught the ick. And once I get the ick, it's hard, man. You can't win me back once I get uh um my brother Villain, I was in Boston and I was talking to him about not smoking now for however long it's been. And um unlike everybody else, he wasn't shocked. And he was like, you know what? You're gonna kick ass at this. And I was like, shocked, because that's not the reaction everybody else. You know, everybody else is like, what? Oh my God, Dutch isn't Dutch anymore, blah, blah. Right? Everybody's giving the same reaction except for him. And I was like, what? What do you mean? And he was like, I know you, bro. He's like, you're stubborn as fuck. I was like, you know what? You're right. That is why I'm not gonna quit at quitting. I'm stubborn. I'm stubborn as shit. And once I fucking hate you, I hate you for fucking life, bro. And you could suck my fucking dick till I fucking die, and I'm fucking in the grave. And that's just that. I'm probably never gonna fuck with you ever the fuck again. Once I say I'm over with something and I'm done with somebody, you are never gonna get me back. You're never, ever, 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 ever gonna get me back. I don't care what you do, what you say. You could pay me money. I will fucking throw $1,000,000 back in your fucking face and be like, eat that shit, bitch. You're fucking crazy. You're bugging. You could never buy me. I'm too good. I'm the illest motherfucker. That's the other thing. I have the arrogance that Kanye has, which is why I appreciated Kanye for so long. You know what I mean? I have a lot of confidence in myself. And so, yeah, I'm kind of just done. It
Yeah.
definitely got to a point with me for sure. And this is the point for me. And it's just that. It's the ick. He it's a combination of him being so desperate. Like, it seemed like he saw that he wasn't getting the reaction to his tweets that he wanted. And so for me, the final, like, as I'm reading through the string of tweets the next day, um it was the fuck Virgil tweet that did it for me. I was just like, you fucking desperate bitch. Look at you. You're so fucking desperate. You're so desperate to really get everybody riled up, to really get some attention on yourself, that you said fuck Virgil. Like, fuck you, bro. Fuck you. You wouldn't be shit without all the people around you who made you you. You wouldn't be shit without Rhyme Fest, without Consequence, without GLC. You wouldn't be shit without fucking Virgil. You wouldn't be shit without, bro, you wouldn't be shit. So fuck you, bro. You know what I mean? Like, it's just too much. And it just screams desperate. And I hate a
But it's
desperate bitch.
also
It's
like
disgusting. That disgusts me more than anything, is the desperation.
it's
Ugh.
just
Yuck.
like I just don't understand where he's at. Like, wasn't he trying to like change the world with technology and music distribution and all this other shit like 2 years ago, and now he's just wilding out with
He
his
realized
wife?
that shit was not cracking out. He realized that shit was not working out. He was like, you know what? All that shit is too hard to do. You know what's really fucking easy? To make some Yeezys, fucking say some crazy ass rants right before I put out my music, and fucking, he saw his formula, and he's just riding easy street, which is like pathetic too, because this is a guy that would always challenge thoughts, right? Like, oh, we don't say good because good is, and he would come up with reasonings that I'm like, yo, you know what? That is logical. I fuck with shit like that. I fuck with the idea of changing the way that we speak about things, right? Like, I don't walk on site and call, like, I was on a show the other day, a New York Fashion Week show, and this fucking union fucking grunt comes in looking for one of the women that I'm working with. He's like, did a girl come in here? Did a girl come in here? I look at him crazy. Like, no, there were no little children that came in here. And he's like, no, girl, a girl. I'm like, you mean a woman? Did a woman come in here? Yes, a woman came in here. What woman are you looking for? He looked at me like I'm crazy. I'm looking at him like, you're fucking crazy. Like, you're a fucking idiot, bro. You're a grown ass man. You want to be called fucking boy? And he was black, right? So it's just like, it's extra offensive. So how do you not understand that? And I don't like it when people don't know how to switch up. The week before that, I was in Boston and we were doing a get together with all our new Boston staff. And I was sitting there having a conversation, and one of my guys, who's an old school dude, and he kind of like referenced to one of the new staff members. He called her a she, and she was like, "Oh, I'm not a she. I'm they." I was like, "Oh, great." I dressed them by their name for the rest of the night, right? Because sometimes the remembering of the they, them, when referencing one person can be difficult. So what is the other resolution? I can just call you by your name and respect your choices. It's really, really fucking simple. You know what I mean? And all these type of things are things that I respect highly. I don't have a problem with us changing our vernacular and the way we use words. And I appreciate that type of thinking, of challenging the words that we use and challenging the way you use words and challenging the way you think about things. And I love that about Kanye for a long time. And now he just seems like the fucking doofus that just, like, you know what I mean? Like, he just seems
I
like a
think you
doofus that's
you got a
super
really
durst.
valid point with the lazy thing. Even like, I think I was listening to the baby. It was just describing working on whatever song they ended up doing together for that Drink Champs episode, and he was like, the way he describes Kanye, it's like he went so far down the billionaire rabbit hole that he lost sight of like anything other than being in a world where a bunch of ass kissers do what you want when you want because you're Kanye.
Yeah, and I'm never gonna be. I'll never be that person. You're never gonna. Am I going to respect the person paying the bill enough to not fucking slap them in their face and catch a lawsuit? More than likely, yeah, absolutely. I know. You got lawyers on deck. I'm not gonna punch you in the fucking face, Kanye. You know what I mean? I know what time it is, buddy. Um, but I'm also not gonna let you get away with shit. You're not gonna fucking walk in. You're not gonna do all the shit that you did on Twitter to my face. I promise you won't. I promise you won't. And I come from a place where you could never get away with that. And the place that I come from is like that with everyone. And it's across the board, right? I have to have respect for the teenagers in my neighborhood, or else I'm gonna catch a fucking bullet to my fucking head. And I have respect for them. And it's not just because of the idea of the threat of the bullet, right? It's just the simplicity of having respect for everyone across the board. You know, it's just that. It's like I can have respect for they, them. I can have respect for trans people and their decisions to be called she, he, or they, them. I can have respect for everybody, especially when, if tomorrow Holden told me he's changing his rap name and he will now from henceforth not be called Holden. He wants to be called Red Skull Beanie. I'm like, yo, got it, Red Skull. Got you. You know what I mean? Like, if I can have respect for other rappers enough to be like, oh, you want to be called fucking that dude? Word, that dude. You know what I mean? Yo, that dude, come here for a second. Let me tell these guys, yo, that dude, come here and tell these guys what you were telling me inside about blah, blah. Bro, I don't care. So if I can have respect in general for anybody, tell me their names. That's why I also have never appreciated or respected people that make a big deal out of people's actual legal names, right? Like white people that can have fucking Yastrzemski for a last name, but and then pretend they don't know how to fucking pronounce Hakeem. Like, what? You have a bunch of fucking consonants together, strung together in a fucking name, and you expect me to just know how to pronounce that shit. But you want to make a fucking big deal of fucking Hakeem's name. What? I can have respect for everybody across the board and learn how to pronounce everybody's name correctly. That's when I had Muslim friends of the Islamic religious belief from Middle Eastern descent in school, and they would say their name, and they would say, no, it's Ahmed. I'd be like, word, I could say Ahmed. What is wrong with that, bro? I could just put in an effort to learn how to use my tongue to make the sound that you make. And it doesn't have to be the same exact sound to the core T of it. As long as I get in the same ballpark, you're going to respect me and you're going to appreciate that I put in the effort to pronounce your name correctly. And I can do that across the board for every fucking body on fucking earth at fucking minimum. So
I guarantee you Kanye would not put that respect in.
Yes, he would not. And yeah, you're the man.
He would not go to the Bronx without security either, I think. To be honest with you.
I would say change your name on Twitch though, because I'm probably, it took me a while to remember that it was Lindell, or I would still be calling you Lami, like, right? Because that's what I
never got the
like.
Whatever your name,
whatever your name is.
I've had people sometimes come on the Twitch with some fucking weird name, and then get mad at me in real life for not knowing it was them, and I'm like, how the fuck was I supposed to know that was you? He's like, what do you mean? And I'm like, bro, you came undercover. You succeeded. You were undercover.
Right. I remember when I started, when we were doing grind time at the beginning. That was the beginning days of Facebook. And I remember being shocked to see Lush One's real name. And all the white guys from Cali used all their real names when they got on Facebook. And I was using Dutch Vega from the very beginning. I'm like, my name is Dutch Vega because I don't want you to know my fucking real name. My real name is my real name. That's not for fucking this profile is for me as an artist. So why would I tell you my real name? My name is Dutch Vega. I want you to call me Dutch Vega. So my name would be Dutch Vega.
Maybe I'm just super white, but it never made sense to me. But then I've talked to a lot of people about the way I grew up versus the way other people grew up. And I haven't had the same reason to not have my government name out there as other people maybe don't want everything that they do associated with their government name for good reason. Right. And just like some people don't want to be posting everything on the stories because they don't know who's watching, and who's watching can include things like the tax man. So it's sometimes more complicated to post a story, vet it before, etc. And then actually the cops was like one, but what really caught me off guard was the tax thing. So if you have too much fashion or etc in your stories, there are people who are watching for that to be like, where'd you get this money? Because they don't necessarily care that it's illegal money, they care that it's undeclared money. Anyway, so all that shit, I don't relate to none of that. So I'm like, whatever, you can know my name. Then I found out how creepy it is to be exposed online, and it's far too late. And I'm like, I should have. Y'all had a better point.
Thought about that a long time ago?
Y'all had a better point. If I could go back in time, I might be an avatar right now.
Yeah, nah, for sure. I definitely was always on some like, Ronaldo Rivera doesn't exist on the internet because Ronaldo Rivera doesn't care about the internet. Ronaldo Rivera has a wife, he's got parents, he's got a job, and he doesn't really give a fuck about the internet and people on the internet and their opinion, right? But Dutch Vega cares about being on the internet because Dutch Vega is an artist and Dutch Vega wants to promote his music to people who are interested in checking it out. And so Dutch Vega will let his opinions be known. And I've always kind of approached it like it's not the same person, not the same thing.
I mean,
Whatever.
I definitely think
We
that,
gone pretty.
but
We
like to
got
what you're saying
yo,
though, like I think everyone
Jumpin'
does
Joe.
that. I mean,
You took us totally off base. I don't
shut
even
up,
remember where
jumping.
we were
Well, we were talking
with
about
the.
Kanye and his shock value tactic of like dropping the fucking swastika and stripping his site and like just being a shithead for attention.
No, we did that because he asked us the question about what do we think about the
Yeah.
swastika shirt on Yeezy. Now I'm
Which
saying
is
before that,
at least is
I forgot where
before
we were at
that.
in the Super Bowl.
I mean, GNX. I said GTX instead of GNX.
I mean, listen, I want to get out my thoughts on the Kendrick show. He did not do enough hit records. The Super Bowl is let me fly it real quick. Let me get these 5 minutes to get this off. The Super Bowl is the halftime performance is a performance of a celebration of hit records and your catalog and the hit records in your catalog and a pop culture moment. Nobody gives a fuck about none of that other shit. And if Kendrick Lamar really cared about that shit so much, he wouldn't be on the NFL Super Bowl halftime. He would be standing with Colin Kaepernick if he was really so pro-black. If Kendrick Lamar was so pro-black, Kendrick Lamar wouldn't be trying to tear down another black man. If Kendrick Lamar was so pro-black, he wouldn't have said, fuck all the girls that you fuck, they remind me of you, and then had Serena Williams, a woman that Drake fucked, in his show. And then Serena is standing there dancing for a dude who said, fuck all the bitches you fuck, they remind me of you. So he's saying to Serena, hey, bitch, you remind me of Drake. Now go dance for me, bitch. And she did dance. And then she danced a quick walk, which her sister was murdered in a drive-by by a fucking crip. You gotta be fucking kidding me. People are defending her decision when she's the one that fucked with Drake, right? And everybody knows that Drake's whole career is built off of him having relationships with women, getting heartbroken by them, and then talking about those relationships in his music. So if you're upset about Drake exposing your relationship with him and saying that your husband's a groupie, you should not have fucked Drake, you fucking moron. Furthermore, it's pretty fucking ironic to me that everybody's talking about how pro-black this performance is, and Serena goes home to a white husband. What? And then Kendrick goes home to his half-white wife. What? Man, listen. Kendrick could have did a lot better. Not only that, if this was supposed to be the cherry on top of dissing Drake and the moment of shitting on Drake's career, it went from being a cherry bomb to being a maraschino cherry. It's a fucking bottled, canned fucking cherry. That shit was a womp, 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 womp. And then when mostly everybody criticized the performance, Kendrick fans got so upset. If this is your king and he is now the king and the crown holder of this culture, grow thicker fucking skin. Get ready. Because the whole point of being a fucking king is to defend your fucking crown from people that come for it. Drake stood there and went 20v1 and defended his crown against Pusha, Meek, Kendrick, Rick Ross, ASAP Rocky, Future, Metro Boomin. He fucking defended his crown against fucking everybody. And Kendrick fans can't even fucking sit back and deal with some criticism to Kendrick's performance. Talk about a fucking paper champion. Talk about a fucking paper champion that is fucking liable to fall over nothing. That is not a champion. That is not who I would ever choose to put my backing behind if I'm looking at it. If I'm looking at the fandom as a representation, it's clearly a bunch of fucking snowflakes that can't take any fucking criticism. They reminded me of both Democrats and Republicans that can't manage to be diplomatically objective and critical of the people that they are voting for. That is fucking pathetic. It comes off as pathetic as the fucking MAGA maggots. It's as fucking pathetic as fucking Democrats fucking calling Uncle Joe. Like, that is fucking pathetic to me. That man is not Uncle Joe. He's a fucking racist piece of shit cracker that did a bunch of shit to fucking destabilize black and brown neighborhoods all across America for fucking decades. And the only reason he became vice president was so that they could make white people feel better about Obama being a black man in office. It was to bring him to the middle of the road because he was already middle of the road and would make all sorts of deals with fucking Republicans left and right. So that's no fucking uncle of mine. And fucking black and brown Democrats that were fucking crying goo tears trying to get me to vote for fucking Joe Biden are fucking pathetic. Same as fucking MAGA maggots that fucking try to tell me that fucking Elon Musk was not hailing Hitler, that he was saying genuinely out his heart, my heart goes out to you. That is fucking a lie, a bold-faced lie. You're shitting on my fucking head and trying to tell me that it's raining fucking gold, and it's not. It's fucking shit, and it's bullshit, and you're fucking trying to lie to me, and you're trying to fucking do anything in your fucking mind. All these fucking mental gymnastics to delude yourself because you're incapable of accepting the truth. And that's how Kendrick Lamar fans look today to me online. They said everything from people that didn't enjoy Kendrick Lamar's performance were racist. When they saw that you were black, they said that you were colorist. When they said that you didn't understand, when they saw that people were actual Kendrick fans and had Kendrick fucking pictures in their profile, bigging him up just a couple months ago, they were like, oh, you just don't understand it. Like it's a fucking A24 movie. Like it's some super complicated fucking bullshit trilogy of movies that nobody's gonna understand without a fucking video breakdown. I'm almost done. I'm about to fucking land my plane so you can go. And all I want to say is you're all fucking pathetic to me. All those Kendrick fans that can't take a fucking critical criticism, you're pathetic. You're already making him look like a paper champion out the fucking gate. If this is your champion, I feel bad for the moment he has to defend his crown against real fucking rappers. Because you motherfuckers are going to try to hit us with the bullshit of, oh, he doesn't have to answer him. He's too big to answer him. And that is pathetic. Because that's not the way that Drake defended his crown. That's not the way Jay-Z defended his crown. They defended their crown by going for the top dogs and going for the motherfuckers that were coming for their crown. And they fucking stood there and defended it. And I promise you that within a year or two, Kendrick will have fallen. His moment will be over. Drake will be back on fucking top. He never stopped being on top. He's still the most streamed rapper of 2024 after Bad Bunny. And he will be the most streamed rapper in 2025. I'm also predicting that Kendrick Lamar's numbers will not have spiked from this Super Bowl performance. They will have stayed very mid, same as that performance was.
Yeah, I don't see a huge spike here. Like, honestly, because I was thinking about, So the Super Bowl is supposed to be like the big climax of the beef because one of the first person shooter bars as big as the Super Bowl or whatever, right? So Kendrick is big. My understanding is Drake has turned down the Super Bowl, so it's not like Drake couldn't do it. I'm sure any year Drake had wanted to do the Super Bowl for the last 5-6 years, he could have, without question. But I was just thinking,
that's a
like,
maybe. That's a maybe because the truth is the reason that Kendrick Lamar did the Super Bowl this year is because Hove is that petty, and Hove doesn't like the idea of Drake taking over more number one hit records than him, and he will do anything to hold down his crown, what he believes is his crown. But what he doesn't understand is that nobody cares anymore, bro. All these young cats don't respect you like that. And I love Jay-Z. Jay-Z is still one of my favorites. And if I was Jay-Z, I probably might have done the same exact move, right? And back Kendrick just so that I could shit on Drake some. But the truth is, it doesn't help Hov keep a position that he thinks he has. Young people don't think that Jay-Z is the number one rapper. Nobody does anymore. Nobody thinks
but
he's the
I mean,
king or the GOAT anymore.
he
So,
doesn't
like,
drop very frequently. Have Jay-Z had been putting out an album a year for the last 8 years, people might think a little differently.
yeah, nah. I mean, again, yo, I'm from New York, so I love Hope. I love Hope. We were just listening to a fucking mix that I put together on the spot in the drive back from Boston to New York when I was explaining to them that this moment between Kendrick and Drake reminds me of Nas versus Jay-Z, and Nas won the battle where everybody said Ether won, this and that. But if you really are a true MC's MC, you know that Blueprint 2, the song on Blueprint 2, the album, was the winner of the entire battle, and that Jay-Z was dissecting the fuck out of Nas lyrically, and that Nas didn't win shit, especially seeing how Jay-Z has continuously shitted on him every single moment that he has to celebrate. I literally shared a video of Nas talking on who's the guy that took over the Tonight Show from Colbert and Jon Stewart, the South African comedian. I forget his
Oh,
name. Um,
I know who you're
Stay
talking
up,
about,
Jumpin'
though.
Joe. Have a good night, man. Anyway, Nas was interviewing with him, and they were kiki ha-haing about the fact that like Nas was like, yeah, I accepted the Grammy last night, and Hove released a picture of like some new record that he broke. So like that's how petty Hove is, where he's like, I will forever keep my foot on your neck. I will forever be the winner of this war, right? And I was telling the guys because we were talking about it on the way up, on the way back down from Boston. We were like, "Yo, you know, did 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 Kendrick Lamar Ja Rule Drake the way people are saying?" It's like, nah, he beat him in this battle, absolutely, right? He won in this moment. He didn't Ja Rule him. Ja Rule got Ja Ruled because Ja Rule only had a 3-year run, bro. It was a 3-year fucking run. It was very easy to dethrone that. Drake has been on a 15 fucking year run, bro. You're not gonna be able to dethrone that with one fucking year. That's not the way reality works. We see that because he's still the most streamed artist from 2024 when he was getting his ass kicked all
He's
over the place.
also selling out show after he just sold out a tour in Australia. So like at the same
Insane,
time
man.
you're watching Kendrick Lamar's performance, you're seeing what Drake's doing at the exact same time, and it's like Drake looks like he's having his best life to this day. Now, obviously Drake's gonna be salty about this because
Nah, I think that the moment that I would be saltiest about, like if I'm looking at it and I'm Drake and I like if I'm putting myself in his shoes, genuinely trying to be empathetic, right? I don't think that he's phased. If anything, he's looking online and he's looking at the majority of people shitting on that performance, saying, I think it was mid, the way Jumpin' Joe's rapper did, right? And he's laughing at the Super Bowl thing. I think what hurt him was probably looking at the Grammys, watching Beyonce and Jay-Z and Taylor Swift and Billie Eilish and everybody in the building celebrate his loss to this dude, and the fucking A minor playing exactly as Kendrick is going up to accept that record, rap record of the year. That probably hurt way more than this. If anything, he's probably watching like today. If I'm Drake, I'm waking up cheerful as ever, and I'm just like, oh
Actually,
man,
when you bring up Taylor
that's nice.
Swift, I was thinking, like, if I was Kendrick, what I would do with this shit. Knowing Taylor Swift was going to be there 100%, I would have just done the song with Taylor Swift. Like, if you really want to win over this crowd, like, you're really doing this for the Super Bowl standards. Plus, it's like a direct response to Drake making fun of doing a song for the Swifties and shit. So it's like related to the beat. But Taylor Swift isn't going to come out for just nobody. But she probably would have come out for Kendrick Lamar and then bring that shit right into Not Like Us. Yo, that would have been a moment that would have broke the fucking internet. Drake would not have woken up happy.
I told people he should have, in order to kind of backhand slap everybody who was saying Lil Wayne should have been performing at the Super Bowl because it's going to be in New Orleans. I was saying Kendrick Lamar should have brought out Master P and done Bout It, Bout It. And that would have fucking slayed in New Orleans. And New Orleans would have been so happy to see one of their own up there. But it's the same reason he did not bring out Taylor Swift is the same reason he did not bring out Master P, because this paper champion is a self-involved, self-absorbed fucking asshole. And he does not want to share his moment with anybody. He is fucking self-absorbed.
Like, just to like go on that, like when you really look at the tradition of this, the Super Bowl, it's very few artists that really don't have guests, and some of the best performance are when it's like some random surprise guest in some completely different genre of music, and like it's like, you know, you share that moment with people and you make it like really cool, like. Or even like what Dr.
The way
Dre
everybody's
did.
done in the last few years, because it wasn't
no,
just
like
him, right?
the Weeknd. I'm pretty sure the
Rihanna,
Weeknd was pretty selfish with it, and a couple.
Was he?
There was 2 or 3 that have been like no features, and that was part of it. But like I might be wrong on the Weeknd, but there's been a couple in recent, because I checked the wiki page. So there's been a couple in recent years, but usually they're people like Prince didn't have no guests. He just did his thing.
That makes sense.
And so, like, there's a few in history, but usually, like, it'll be
Michael
like Lady
bring out
Gaga. Nah, but Michael is the first one. No, Michael had like a children's choir or some shit. So, you know, kind of a guest. But when I was thinking, I don't remember. I think it was Lady Gaga brought like the Red Hot Chili Peppers. I'm like when you really get
Super
those
Bowl halftime shows,
it's
performer set list, 70s. Nobody cares about that shit.
Yeah, you really 80s, have to go to the recent ones.
80s, Lindell cares.
Yeah, Rihanna had no guests. The Weeknd had no guests.
Hold on. All right, let me get to the actual. Michael Jackson.
Oh, it's Bruno Mars that brought out the Red Hot Chili Peppers as his guests, and they just fucking came out of nowhere
Diana
and just played
Ross,
Give It Away.
The Blues Brothers. Salute to Motown. That was probably the first rapper ever. Queen Latifah got to perform there. That's crazy. In 1998. Okay, let's get to the 2000s. Phil Collins, Aerosmith, NSYNC, U2, Shania Twain, No Doubt, Janet Jackson, P. Diddy, Nelly, Kid Rock, Justin Timberlake, Jessica Simpson. This is the one where Justin Timberlake took her boob off, right? And got that backlash. Yeah, that's the titty one. Yeah.
So many people, right? Like, and then I guess
so many people for one fucking show.
I guess Paul McCartney and the Rolling Stones, no extra
Prince.
Guest, fine. Prince was crazy though. Prince is my favorite performance of all of these performances. I just like. So Prince.
Black Eyed Peas brought out Usher / Dallas Fort Worth area high school drill team. Madonna brought out LMFAO, MIA, Nicki Minaj, CeeLo. Beyonce brought out Destiny's Child. Bruno Mars brought out Red Hot Chili Peppers. Katy Perry brought out Lenny Kravitz and Missy Elliott. Coldplay brought out Beyonce, Bruno Mars, Mark Ronson. Lady Gaga brought out Nobody. Justin
Yeah.
Timberlake brought out the University of Minnesota marching band. Maroon 5 brought out Travis Scott, Big Boy.
That's cool of him. Of them.
Shakira, Jennifer Lopez
Yeah,
brought
they
out
shared
Bad
it.
Bunny, J Balvin.
And The Weeknd soloed it.
The Weeknd
Then there was
soloed it.
the Dr. Drake
bring
with all of
Snoop
their
Dogg,
shit.
Eminem, Kendrick Lamar, bringing out 50 Cent. I'm at 50 Cent as the guest. Rihanna didn't bring out anybody either. Wow, I
Nah,
forgot. I thought she
nah,
did.
she just did
I
her
thought
whole
she would have
thing with
brought
it.
her husband. Yeah.
Nah, she did her whole thing by herself. Usher had hella
Alicia
guests.
Keys. Yeah, a lot of people. And
Well, to be
then
fair, those are all people like on like Usher songs. So, because like a lot of Usher's career
yeah,
has a lot of features like that. And Kendrick Lamar did his shit. But like I was like thinking like, cause if you look at the Prince performance, right? So like at one point the Foo Fighters performed a Prince song. I don't remember which one. Maybe Darling Nikki or something. And Prince caught wind of that, and he was fucking mad. Like, he was livid. And he never said nothing. He just let it be. Then he got the Super Bowl performance, and he performed Best to You by the Foo Fighters. And he just outperformed anything that, like, the Foo Fighters could ever do. Like, he just upped the level of the quality of the song. And that was his comeback and diss to Dave Grohl. So he took his Super Bowl performance to lay a shot at Dave Grohl and just make the song better than he ever could. And I was like, Q, can you imagine if Kendrick had come out, taken a Drake song, and just done something with it that was fire? And like, just like, I don't know. I don't even know if it's possible. But, you know, something like that would have been like fucking memorable. And in the tradition of the Super Bowl. Because covers and things like that, like, that's like the spirit of it. It's not like, not everyone does it, but like it's in the spirit of this type of performance where it's more of a pop celebration. And when I just like imagine he came in and just did like I'm Upset or something. I don't know, just some Drake song and just fucking killed it. Like, bitch, I can do your music in a minute.
Man, the day that Drake, first off, I already know what time it is with Drake, right? Like right now, if I'm Drake, I'm like, I say no more. I'm not fucking with none of you motherfuckers ever again. I'm not fucking with nobody who's not named 21 Savage, Young Thug, Sexy Red. You know what I mean? Like the people who he's been fucking with, who like clearly got his back, right? And if I'm him, I wait until the next project, put out a fucking hit record, super album, get back on top, avoid the beef, stay on top for a couple more years again. And then once he's like hitting like a max height, get Jay-Z the fuck out of here. I'm never performing at your Super Bowl. Get him the fuck out of here. Get him off your board. I'm not. Give me that position, and I'll start bringing in all the young new talent that I'm cool with. Or, you know, because that's the other thing is that Jay-Z's aging and he's not in touch with the young cats, you know, and the young cats are going to be older in another 5, 8 years. And they're not going to respect Jay-Z enough to want to do business with him or the NFL. And it's a job at the end of the day. And the position is going to be up, but fuck it. Wait until the position's up or get him the fuck out of here and then go to the Super Bowl and show everybody, you know, why it is that you're Drake, which is like you're the most streamed rapper out of this era for a reason. You know what I
And Drake
mean?
would spend
And
an insane amount of money on that performance.
and also Drake is gonna fucking put up a performance that will fucking be so memorable. You got fucking YOLO, you got fucking just so many hit records. Fucking what was the Kiki? Do you love me? Do you know me? There's so many Drake hit records. Let me go fucking see which are his actual number ones. Let's go see. Let's count these number
But I
ones.
even think it's more than the songs. I think Drake would. So it's like even the theatric side, right? Like what happened to the days of marching bands and airplanes? You know, like I don't know if maybe there's like restrictions on it, or if it's because the bands don't want to put up that much money for it. But I feel like we should be able to do some over the top shit with these Super Bowl performances. You got 12 minutes to 13 minutes. Make a come in flying off of a helicopter. You know, do some wild shit. Do some theatrical bullshit.
Right, for sure, for sure. Hotline
Like,
Bling, he's got to do Hotline Bling. He's got to
really?
do, yeah, he's got to do One Dance. He's got to do
What about like
One
best
Dance
I
is one
never
of his.
had or some
That's
shit?
Nah, Best I Never Had isn't even like it's a number one rap hit. It wasn't a number one U.S. Billboard Hot 100 hit. God's Plan, he's got to do God's Plan.
Yeah.
He's got to do Nice for What. He's got to do In My Feelings, which is Kiki. And he's got to do, damn, Tootsie Slide the number one. Hot Billboard 100 charts. That's crazy. U.S. That's crazy.
Really?
What's next? Yeah. Way Too Sexy is a U.S. Billboard number one. Jimmy Cooks is a number one. Slime You Out with SZA. He's not going to do that. He will never perform with SZA. First Person Shooter. He probably will bring out J. Cole for that Super Bowl, big as the Super Bowl moment. You know what I mean? Even then, who knows? Maybe he won't. Maybe he is
I mean,
annoyed and bothered by Cole. Let me see though. Is the beginning of his career replacement girl best I ever had is nope. It's a number two U.S. Hot 100. That's the highest it reached. Number two. To number one R&B and hip hop charts. Number one on the U.S. rap chart, and then number two on the Billboard Hot 100. And the Billboard Hot 100 is
I
really
feel like, what
what
had a
like
headline? Did headlines not go number one? Or maybe that part of his
nope.
career, he wasn't
13.
like, he wasn't really
Number
number oneing yet.
13 on the US and number two on the hip hop and R&B charts.
I mean, that shit was fucking everywhere that summer. But yeah, I guess. I mean,
Seven,
he'd only get bigger.
18 on the Canada charts. It's crazy how like Canada, like what the fuck was Canada doing? What were you guys listening to? If you weren't listening to Drake, what? What? Like, why were you guys not making him number one in your charts before America was? This
A
is
lot
crazy. This is
of we
insane.
do that. We also didn't like Nickelback, if you're
Mm-mm-mm.
being honest. But I don't know. We were probably listening to a bunch of Macklemore or something.
Oh my god.
You know I'm right.
Um, Hotline Bling. Actually, Hotline Bling is number two, but the numbers that it put up is huge, man. It's crazy. Like number three
Yeah.
on the Canada charts,
But
number
but
two
by
on
the
the
time
Hot
by the
100,
time Hotline
number
Bling
one on
becomes a
the
number two
hip
and
hop
shit though,
R&B.
the charts are all gamified and stuff. Like that's around when Justin
Yo,
Bieber got caught
One
doing his
Dance is
fucking campaign.
huge. One
Is it?
Dance. Hold on, let me
I
tell you
never
something.
really liked that song.
One Dance. He was one across the board. He was only two in. Hold on, I'll tell you. Give me 1 second. What chart is this?
Really?
The Denmark on the Denmark charts. He hit number two with One Dance. In Canada, Australia, France, Ireland, New Zealand, Sweden, UK, US, and then the US R&B and hip hop charts, all of those charts, he hit number one. 9 different charts, he hit number one with the same song. Crazy
Does
how big
no,
One Dance
I
was.
find that wild. I mean, like I know
Nah,
it, like
I
I've heard it
don't
a
though. You know
lot,
why?
but
You know
I
why it
don't
doesn't
like
surprise
it
me? Because
personally.
One Dance is the beginning of he gentrified Afro beats with that one song and brought it to the world market. people didn't care about Afro beats before One Dance. He wasn't the first person to be at Afro beats. To be clear, Wale had already gotten there years before him and did Afrobeat songs with African artists. But when Drake did it, he made it big. Let's see what else is like a super one across the boards like that for him. Another big one across the board is God's Plan. One's across the board.
Yeah, God's Plan was stupid.
Two.
Stupid big. See, God's Plan makes sense to me. Like, I get why that song's just fucking full of, like, TikTok quotable type lines and shit.
Kiki also. Absolutely. One's across the board, 2 2s, and 1 3. But number one on the U.S. Hot 100 charts for sure. Number one on the U.S. R&B and hip hop charts. Number one in the Canada charts. Number two in the UK charts. But still, like 5 times platinum, 7 times ARIA platinum, 2 times BPI platinum, 1 time GLF platinum, 8 times RIAA platinum. So in the US, he went 8 times platinum. And then he went platinum everywhere else multiple times. And then wherever NSEP is, he went diamond with In My Feelings. Kiki, do you love me?
Man, that was a big one. But, yeah. I mean, I don't know. But he's also, by the time he gets there, going to have more hits, more songs, more he's not, it's not like, I think the thing that bothers me the most about this whole Kendrick fan thing is, like, the way they're framing it as this was some kill shot that is going to end Drake's career.
And I'm like, it's only the pathetic people who don't have anything in life, you know what I mean, that are, like, looking at it from that perspective.
It's just
because everybody else can acknowledge, like, yo, bro.
Even Drake sort of acknowledged it, right? Like, look at how he started his Australian tour when he came out with that sweater with the bullet holes and they were all smoking. Like, yo, I survived your shots. You got me, but I survived. You know, like, I'm still here. And, like, I'm not saying that Kendrick Lamar won't sell out a tour right now because he probably is going to be able to do pretty well.
Absolutely will. No, the question isn't none of that. The question is, can your king sustain for 15 years? Drake was king for 15 fucking years. He lost it for 1. Okay, cool. Now let's see what Kendrick Lamar does for 2025. Let's see if he could snag that number 1 streaming rap artist of 2025. Because something that I've been telling people today is Kendrick Lamar fans like to type and talk about Kendrick Lamar more than they like to listen to Kendrick Lamar. And that's pretty sad. Because if they listen to him as much as they talk and type about him, he would be the number 1 streaming artist in America or worldwide. But he's not, because you don't actually listen to him. You like the idea of talking about him, but you're still... Look, I was talking back and forth with No Mercy, who's been constantly, you know, talking shit about Drake the whole time, right? And he's like, listen, Drake lost this battle. I still listen to fucking 0 to 100 real quick every day. That's crazy. You're talking shit about the guy and you're listening to 0 to 100 real quick all day, every day. You know, or at least once a day, right? So you're giving him streams, and it's like, this is why Kendrick is not taking the number 1 spot. Because I promise you, you're not doing the same thing with Kendrick.
There's a volume of music issue, right? Like, I don't know. Let's say GNX, you like GNX, right? And then before that, Mr. Morale is what, 2 years ago, 3 years ago or something? And then before that, it's 5 years. And then before that, and there's not, like, yeah, there's features in between, but there's not, like, a lot in between. Whereas Drake might drop 100 songs a year or something between all the features. So, like, you really do have a lot of Drake songs to go back to depending on your mood. And even if you're not a Drake fan, the volume of music this man has created, it's like T-Pain. During T-Pain's run, it's like, even if you didn't like him, there were songs that he was on that you liked. It was impossible that you completely hated everything he was on. And so it's like, there's just so much shit to go back to that Drake will continue to produce music at a high rate. They will all perform. People will add it to their catalogs, and it'll just get more streams.
People have had moments to Drake's music. Um,
And
Kendrick Lamar had people have moments to some of his music, but like an idiot, he went up there and performed a bunch of new songs and didn't gain any new fans because he's playing songs people don't know. He was supposed to go up there and play his hit record, and then that would have gained him a bunch of new fans. So they'd be like, "Oh, I remember this song. Oh, wait, I remember this song."
like, yo,
But
imagine he
do
like
that.
started his shit with like ADHD or something, and like brought you through like his whole career. Like that would
Well,
have been
nah, he can't do
fire.
that either. Nobody wants to hear ADHD. But
I like
you
ADHD.
know, he absolutely would. If he, like I said, if he would have opened up with like swimming pools and then went into yak 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 man down, where you from, my nigga, then it
But
would
he
have
did.
hit.
Like, the
If he
problem
would have
is he
hit,
did that
and
2 years ago.
nah, but this is the thing. That was a feature. That was a guest. That's not his show. His show, he's still supposed to come out and do his hits. And you do those songs, then you go into fucking DNA, and then you go into Humble, and then you go into the Black Panther song. Maybe you do the song with Ben Staples from that same soundtrack, and then you fucking bring out Master P. You do Let Him Do Bout It, and then you fucking do the Taylor Swift song, and you go into fucking Not Like Us, and then fucking turn the TV off, and it's a whole different show, and people are fucking talking about you like you're the fucking king for real that you think you are. But not right
No, not
now.
bringing out Taylor Swift was the biggest mistake. Like,
Not
biggest
right
mistake.
now.
I mean, you have the song with her. It's pop. In the world of pop, it is by far going to be the song that most people know him for outside of hip hop. And it's really weird to not do that at the Super Bowl. You know, she gonna be at. Like, I can't get over that, especially because it would have been like such a. Like, there's an argument that Drake couldn't, unless like Taylor didn't want to do it and he reached out, upon which I don't actually know that. But I feel like she would have done it. I feel like she'd be Team Kendrick over Drake. Everything about her feel
Probably.
like that. So yeah, that would have been like, that's the thing to me. And then I don't know, maybe it's because like she's not black, so she didn't fit with like the theme of what he was going for.
Maybe.
And I mean, that was the other thing, is I guess on that front he did make a political statement and used his position to make a point. I just don't know if the point is going to be as well received or as impactful as like the Kendrick Lamar fans are making it sound out to be.
Maybe. We went for an hour and a half. I think we wrap it up here. This was a good conversation. We talked about the Super Bowl. We talked about, oh, you know what was huge was the fucking trailers. Marvel dropped that Thunderbolts trailer. Um uh or the new Thunderbolts trailer. There was a new Mission Impossible 8 trailer. There was Jurassic World Part 4 trailer. There was a I'm starting to wonder like what is the biggest action franchises? You know what I mean? Like, is it Mission Impossible? Is it Jurassic World Park? Um, yeah. Um, they dropped oh my god, the one that like had me the most was like a live action How to Train Your Dragon trailer. I was like, what the fuck? I loved How to Train Your Dragon. I'm definitely gonna watch the fucking live action. Um, all of those are really cool. I do think the houses.com ads might have won me over as the funniest ads the whole way. If not that one, the seal ad. Um, yeah, man,
Yeah.
good
Well,
times.
yeah, it's definitely a good time indeed. Yo, it looks like Jay Smooth is online doing the same conversation we just had. So I'm gonna raid over there into his chat.
Right, let's braid him. Right,
But yo, appreciate everybody coming through and watching. We'll be back next Monday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, streaming an old episode as we build up for whatever is coming next. In the meantime, we appreciate everybody coming through and participating in the chat. Looking forward to seeing you in the future. Make sure to support us over on Patreon if you can. Patreon.com/perspectives, PRSPCTVS. Thanks again, everyone, for watching. And yeah, appreciate you. Have yourself a great day. Live long and prosper, everyone.